Hello, welcome to another edition of Humble Theology. As always, my name is John, still, and we're looking at the Westminster Confession of Faith. We are in chapter 7 of God's Covenant with Man. We're in section 2 of that chapter, and that reads thusly: the first covenant made with man was a covenant of works, wherein life was promised to Adam, and in him to his posterity, upon condition of perfect and personal obedience. That's it. So simple, to the point. We're establishing, or the confession is establishing the principle of a covenant of works. And what is it? Well, it says there that it's a condition of perfect and personal obedience with a promise of life. We know the curse was also there of unto death, but let's look at this a little bit. When we first start looking at the concept of covenant of works, covenant of grace, the different covenants, covenant with Moses, with Adam, with Abraham, we're talking about the relationship God establishes with mankind, or with individual men. And this relationship is always based on two things: love and law. God reaches out, that's love. He wants to do this, but yet there's always law. One, because his character is always just and holy. So there is always a legal requirement there. Two, because he establishes the boundaries of the relationship that we have with him. The established with Adam: do not eat of the tree in the middle of the garden, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't eat of it. That establishes both principles. If you love me, you'll respect what I said. You'll love me enough that you won't go against me. And two, the legal requirement, just again, plainly there: don't eat of it. It's there. So both elements always. Unfortunately, in our modern age, I guess 18th century, you go back a little bit farther, but especially as we come more to the modern age, confession and creeds drop the language of covenant. It's just meant to be this cold contractual thing. Don't do this. It's some kind of rule. It's like the normal commandments. Don't do this, and if you do this, there's a penalty. If you do keep it, there's a reward, and that's kind of the extent of it. But no, it involves the relationship with God always. The covenant of works is important, is because we all exist and are born into this covenant. Because Adam fell in basically eating of the fruit, so breaking this covenant, he broke the law, he broke the love of God in this. Well, it means it still exists. The covenant didn't go anywhere because it was broken. It exists because we know the judgment of this covenant to be imposed exists. We're all born spiritually dead, and we all will face the judgment of this unless we then later, as we'll see, fall under the covenant of grace. So what is this establishing? So this covenant of works, it says, wherein life was promised to Adam. Well, where is that? If I read Genesis 1 through 3 several times over, I don't find this promise of life. Well, it's inferred, as we see from the Romans passages there, Romans 10:5 and Romans 5:12 to 20, the comparison being that if there was a curse mentioned in the garden, so don't eat of the tree of life, in the day that you eat of it, you will surely die. Then the opposite is inferred, that as an eternal curse, God also is holding forth then an eternal promise, that if you don't eat of this, you remain in this covenant of works with me by your own and personal obedience, then you will continue to live. You will continue to keep on living. You will perpetually be alive. He was created alive. All things were created good. Yes, very good, God says of his own creation. So Adam was able to, and should have, or was told to walk within the presence of God and not fear him, not have anything, regarding his death or all that stuff. It's when he were to deny God, turn his love towards himself and what he wanted, as opposed to understanding God's love for him and disobeying, therefore breaking the covenant, that we see there's death involved, judgment involved. The commandment broken brings about its judgment. Just like we would say for any child, any rule out there, rules in society, laws, you break them, you can expect the corresponding judgment. And that's all that's being reflected here in this. So this first covenant of works, is established. Adam was to live before God in a perfect and personal obedience. And from the command not to eat of the fruit, we discern that, yes, there is the curse unto death, but that its opposite therefore held forth eternal life if he were to sustain that personal and perfect obedience. So more to come on that. We'll look at section 3 next time. Thank you for joining me, and hope to see you again next time. Like, subscribe, share, comment below, all that fun stuff. And God bless. Take care.